Now, let's take you back to our top story today, and that's the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSAN, has directed its members to begin a nationwide strike from today, Monday, September 29th, over a dispute with the Dangote refinery. In a statement, General Secretary Lumumba Okubawa ordered members to suspend services from 6 a.m. on Sunday and hold 24-hour prayers, adding that no intervention would be allowed except where safety is at risk. The union accused the refinery of breaching Nigeria's labor laws, the constitution, and ILO conventions by dismissing workers for joining the association. Dangote, however, denied the allegations, insisting the move was a workforce reorganization to safeguard its investment. Well, to unpack all of this, we're now joined by Charles Adeyoriju. He is a dispute resolution lawyer and is also a former PENGASSAN branch chairman. Charles, good morning. It's a pleasure to have you bright and early this morning. Of course, we're counting down the hours until that meeting between all parties involved and the Minister of Labour. And we, of course, want to set the agenda. How do we resolve this issue? What's your take on it?
Thank you very much for having me. The issues that we have here are quite robust. On one hand, you have a contractual issue of employment, termination of employment. On the other hand, you have a trade and labor dispute. On the other hand, you have an investor, a significant investor in the oil and gas industry, coming to say, look, you cannot bring your trade union into my business to distort my operations. So even Dangote has cited that the acts of some members of PENGASSAN have become, who joined PENGASSAN have become a threat to national security. So let us unpack them gradually. First of all, employees of any organization have a right to unionize. It's a constitutionally protected right by Section 40 of the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria that says you have the right to join religion, associate, and including a trade union. So with that, you cannot stop anybody from becoming unionized. The optics don't look very well, and that is because just a couple of days or hours after joining PENGASSAN or notifying Dangote of their membership of PENGASSAN, the employment of 800 employees were terminated. So that is the optics that we have against Dangote. On the PENGASSAN side, which is a trade union that advocates for the welfare of members of its union, to negotiate better terms of employment, better working conditions, they're saying, look, you have no right to terminate. Our members have a right to join membership. And you cannot do retribution and terminate their employment. But Dangote also has a right to protect his business. And vis-a-vis, both parties need to come to a consensus and move ground and say, look, let us find a middle ground to make things work. On one hand, you need unionized members. One of the reasons why Dangote can feel the heat of this threat is because the PENGASSAN has to rely now on the membership, its own membership in other entities, which is why when you see the notice that was issued a couple of days ago, it was to members in other branches, i.e. ExxonMobil, I think Total was on it, NGIC, to support the strive to ensure that there's better working conditions for members in the Dangote refinery. So what I expect right now is that both parties come to the table, sit down. First of all, recognize that right to unionize. Sit down. After unionization, both parties go to what you call the negotiation of the collective bargaining agreement, which is the offshoot of unionization. In that agreement, both parties have to be reasonable with whatever their expectations are. And you take it from there. So it is not a situation where PENGASSAN, I don't believe it's a situation where PENGASSAN doesn't want Dangote to thrive. Dangote is Nigeria's baby, as it is. It is a pioneer, primo center pious. Largely, Dangote relies on our national resource to refine its products. But Dangote is also a commercial entity, which is profit-driven. And these employees contribute largely to the success of this entity. Mind you, we're talking about senior staff, which means that these are staff who have high qualifications, most likely have worked at top levels in other organizations, who have education across board, even better than a lot of expatriate employees that you would have. Dangote himself confirmed it, that he finds that people that supported him building refineries have now been poached by entities globally. That shows the quality of the skills and resources that you have. So it has to be a collaboration between all parties across board. So you cannot leave one out for the other. So you cannot, first of all, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I sympathize with Dangote. I also sympathize with PENGASSAN. It's an impasse that is a tough. It's a tough place to be because I've been there at some point. So I believe the intervention of the trade minister today, the intervention of an independent arbiter, is needed, which is what we hope to see today. I believe that both parties are reasonable. I believe that they will come to resolution, and in no time, this dispute will be resolved. It's not in the interest of any of the parties to stifle our energy sector, because the ripple effect is far-reaching. There's a fear today. Yesterday, I had to fuel my car because I feared that there's a chance that there will be fuel scarcity. But I believe that after today, we would have a very good resolution in all of this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Charles.
Thank you
Thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Charles.
I'm happy to be here.